Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. It's Saturday, and you know what that means? It means it's match day. Not just match day, it's Sheffield United are coming to town. Are we excited? Let me just get a better picture of the stadium for you all. There we go. Anyone new to the channel? What we do? Well, look at the sun coming up my bonds. Anyone new to the channel? What we do is we put together a in the morning. We do a little match day morning where, for those of you who obviously can't be at the game, feels like you're at the game. Obviously, we'll be doing all the watch-alongs and stuff like that with Anton afterwards, and we'll do our predicted 11s and stuff like that. But this is just to get you guys a little bit excited, a little bit up for it. It's I've likened to our season at the moment as a little bit like when your car goes into limp mode. At the moment, we've had such a good start to the season. The last two games, and even the Lincoln City game, to be honest, we've limped through them. And now, obviously, you play Sheffield United here. Opportunity to hopefully get a win. But they're no mugs. You know what I mean? It's like last week they lost 8-0. But if you look at the results they've had, stuff like against Spurs, they played well, albeit a few, last minute winner for Spurs in injury time and various others. So yeah, we ain't going to get it all our own way. Let's just say it that. Let's see who we got in the chat. We've got Andrew's just gone 3-0 straight away. Job done. Dan, good morning to you. See, one of these frustrating games. I don't want it to be, but I think you're going to be right, Dan. I think it's going to be frustrating because as a fan base, we expect to win this game. We probably expect to win it quite handsomely, really, to be honest. And I don't think that's going to happen. So I know exactly what you mean. I think I'm back. It's going to get a bit moany. Do you know what I mean? So for any decent side, you're thinking, Sheffield United, they're going to be hurting. So they're going to want to come out of the traps early. So we should be coming out of the traps early and really hitting them hard and trying to, just knock the stuffing out of them early doors. And then, then they might, crumble a little bit. But we know we won't. We know we'll play a 4-1-4-1. We know we'll play Souček. We know we'll play Paqueta on the left-hand side. I know what we want to do. Although, speaking for anyone who's a member, Jordan Davis from The Sun he's obviously at the presser, and he gives his thoughts. And there's a feeling amongst the journos there yesterday that Kudus will play. I just don't know. As much as I want it, I think sometimes you want something so hard you never get it. Do you know what I mean? So we shall see. Let's have a look what we got here. Apparently the Sheffield United players came down by train. Thanks, Mo. Ralph 30 again in Spain. I only see one goal in it. I turned up today with me what's name with me hoodie, and I've decided to take it off because it's quite warm. It had nip in the air this morning, and then definitely it warmed up as soon as I started getting over the bridge. So I would recommend a light jacket today because once that sun comes down, it's going to get probably a bit nippy. Rob, good morning to you. Peter, good morning to you. Russ and the Russettes. I like that. The Russettes. That's like fat. I like that. The Russettes. We'll use that. I have a feeling that they will set up like they did against Spurs and frustrate. Goal or two in the first half would be ideal, but who knows what will happen? You're totally right, Peter. Who knows? Steve says it's either going to be a dull 1-0 or 4-0. That's quite some gap there. Barry, good morning to you. Happy Hammer. I hope you're well. Russ, imagine if we do a Newcastle 4-0 to us. Well, Newcastle was 8-0. Morning, usual suspects. They should call you Russ. What's the name button? Yeah, very good. I always do say what's the name. I know I do. That's just me. I always forget. Happy Emirates gone with her heart and gone with a 3-0 drubbing, but ahead 3-1. There's only one goal in it. It's not really much difference between there and there, to be honest. Guido, good morning to you. Young Russell, I'll take that. Morning, everyone. Morning, Steve. Hope you're well. No, I'm excited. I always get excited for the games. I love every home game. because it's an opportunity to see the team I support, the team I love. But it's these games. I was talking to yesterday. We had Rory from Flat Party, lovely bloke. Go back and check that out yesterday. And we basically, let me just check something quick. We basically, let me just check. I haven't. And these types of games I get nervous about. I enjoy it, because the Man City games, things like you sort of know what you're going to expect. But these are games I really get nervous about because I actually think this game is a real pivotal game in our season already. So early on, because it is so early on. In that, as I said, we've had such a good start to the season, and the last two games, albeit against Man City and Liverpool at Anfield, and then the Lincoln game, as I said, we've got into limp mode. It seems in our car, and this is the type of game. A good performance, maybe a few goals, would definitely get us back on full power. Do you know what I mean? And particularly also going into Thursday, I think. Thursday, obviously, Freiburg in the Europa League. It's a 5:45 kickoff in the UK, just to warn you, just so you don't, don't have your meetings last thing on Thursday. It's a 5:45 with one of the early ones. So we need a good performance to go into that game because they're not going to be easy. If you listen to Dennis follows a lot of Bundesliga games, and he was talking about Freiburg and how that they've been called the Bundesliga Brighton, and we don't usually do well against Brighton, so we'll see what happens. You need to top your glass up, Ralph. Indeed, Greeno still in land, looks nice and sunny. There ain't a cloud in the sky. Those aren't clouds. There's no cloud there. Not a cloud in the sky. My thing's not working very well today. Let me just check to see. Can I check to see? All right, we'll take that off. There you go. That'll be better. Newcastle have Menace. We attack with Dennis the Menace. Very good. No Kudus. I think 1 goal in it for me. Russ has said if we win a trophy, it's a summer party round his end of the season. Lovely. He's starting to warm up a bit. You're totally right. We'll tell a lot about today's team, whatever the result. That's exactly the point, man. That's exactly what I'm trying to. This is the type of test which will show where we are in our league. I've always said that our league is probably from about 6th to about 12th, realistically. And a win today puts us in. Obviously, it puts us another 3 points on the board. But it puts us. It shows where we are. These types of games that traditionally we wouldn't pick any points up. We struggle against these types of teams, particularly a hurting team like they'll be. The fans will be up for it. It'll be a great atmosphere. Obviously there'll be loads of Tevez masks and hashtag blame Tevez and all that type of stuff. But it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go right to the bottom. There we go. We're done. So what are you thinking, guys? Obviously, we're going to do our predicted 11 show in a couple of hours' time. But score-wise, what are we thinking today? What are we thinking? Acid says after 10 games at least, it does, Peter. And I think we want to be, when it's settled down, we want to be in the right position when it settles down. Is there any way Kadu starts? Can't see Mr. M dropping Thomas. Well, as I said, when I was talking, when Jordan Davies from The Sun was doing his bit for the members, he said there was a feeling amongst the journos that Kudus will start today. I just can't see it. I generally just can't see it. For me, we know what Moyes is like. He's a pragmatic manager. He's a risk-adverse manager. And, and I was listening to We Are West Ham podcast, and they had David Shah from formerly the In-Betweeners, and he's very much a Moyes in person. And he said, it's all about being pragmatic and things like that. So, this is a perfect game for him. For Kudus, you're thinking hurt inside, the pace, power he's got. But I just can't see it happening. I just, as much as I want it to happen, I just don't think it will happen, which is a shame. But then the question is, when will it happen? And I think it's going to have to take a suspension or an injury to force Moyes to change the team around again. He only does that. Very rarely does he change it. Occasionally he does. Very rarely he'll have a crazy, like, he'll forget what he is. I don't know whether it's temporary amnesia or something like that. And he'll put out an attacking side or a side, to attack. And then the next game he goes back. So there's a couple of games. I remember, I think it was Lingard's first game. I think it was Villa, wasn't it? Was it Villa when we played them? And he went quite attacking. I think Burnley away, he went quite attacking. It's just like these random games he sort of identifies as ones we could get. Caduce be on the bench, says David Moyes, thank you. Artel would like a 4-1 victory, but will probably be a draw. Steve's team is Areola, Sufel, Emerson, Mavropanos, Zuma, Alvarez, Bowen, Caduce, Antonio Paqueta, JWP. Again, probably on paper, that's probably the informed side. It won't. I don't think it'll be that. I don't think. I think Aged's got one more mistake game in him. That makes sense. I think this could be a perfect game to try and get Aged's season back on track because he needs it, definitely. So I think Aged starts. Pack has to be in the middle. I know he has to be, but I can't see it happening. JWP, first goal 7-1. Sheffield United concede a lot of goals with set pieces. They really aren't very good at set pieces. Go back and listen to our interview with Hal from Sheffield United Way, who's been on every channel this week. He's had a great time. So they are very susceptible at set pieces. So put your money on put JWP in the old fantasy football league team. He's got into mine today. Are they any good in the air, or will we need to keep it on the ground? I mean, they're bottom of the league. Bottom of the league, aren't they? So it's like, the hurting lion, isn't it? You don't want, with those, it's when a team is hurting, they could be their most dangerous, and they could be. I mean, they might not be. They might be that poor, but I mean, they're no shit side. They got out from the Championship. We know how tough it is to get out of the Championship. They do have a lot of players out injured. A lot of players out injured at the moment. The likes, with the likes of, I think Brewster's out, and they could have up to 9 players out. So we'll see. Mo asked what times the players come in. Usually about 1 o'clock-ish, I think, about that. Happy Hammer wants Antonio and Tati on the bench to start. Caduce, Bowen up top with Cornet starting on the left. No, not Cornet, he's had it. Cornet's gone, man. If anything, needs to see Mavropanos and Zuma to prepare for the AFCONs, not just because Aged's form has been poor, but I don't see him trying it today. Me neither. You're totally right, Acid. We've still got the best part of 3 months until the AFCONs, or 2.5 months till the AFCONs. So we've got to start. Because that's what when people say, "Oh, Fornals is gone in January." No, he isn't, because we need him for that month. Ironically, because you've got to think the likes of Cornet's it could be AFCONs. The likes of Ben Rahman will be at the AFCONs. Caduce will be at the AFCONs. So we need these players still around the facility of West Ham, because otherwise we're going to be up shit creek without a paddle. Framer says we'll get 3 points, no sweat. Big worry today is if we don't play tiki-taki, fan social media will get toxic. Yeah, it's a strange one. It's like, as I was saying the other day, it's like I think it was with Hal, I said, there's definitely people pay their money to watch the games. If they come here, if not, you pay your subscriptions on Sky. Even if you spend your time watching it, you're still invested, and you do want to be entertained. And there has to be a balancing act between being entertained and getting results. Because if you get results, you're higher up the table. You can get better players. you can qualify for Europe, and and the fact is we haven't played fantastic football, but those people who are travelling to European games are doing that on the back of Moyes ball. So they can't have one thing, not the other. I think if you play attacking football at the moment, there is a risk. I mean, you got to look back at Leeds and Bielsa ball and stuff like that. Yes, there's sides like De Zerbi and that, but you need the right manager. And we haven't got. I mean, the manager you've got now isn't a manager who plays expansive football. So why are we assuming that he will play expansive football? If we had a manager like De Zerbi and De Zerbi was playing like Moyes ball, low block, then I think then there's a right to be frustrated. But we've never brought in Moyes to play progressive football. Have we? In all honesty, we haven't. So that's why I think sometimes there's a difference in opinion. Moyes' face when asked about possession stats, only club lower. Yeah, it was. But he don't care. I don't. But to be honest, Ralph, if we're getting points, if we're getting results, I don't think I care. I'll be honest, I don't think I care at the moment. Particularly getting to that 40 points. Do you know what I mean? Once we get to that 40 points, once we've, then I think I'd like to see something, but, this club needs to, every season needs to make sure it hits, it gets, I mean, I'm not worried about going down or anything at all this year, but there's still that West Hamness in the back of my head. Do you know what I mean? What we got here? If Ings had put away that chance on Wednesday, that was harder to miss than he scores. It would be like a dog with two dicks. You're totally right. I think Graham is doing his sound check. I still think we don't play Alvarez in the same side against a team. It's too defensive. You're right, Steve, but I mean, I'm the same. We need Villa to either lose or draw. At home to Brighton, we win, we go sixth. That sounds good to me, mate. That sounds good to me. You're totally right. I mean, I'm not advocating us playing a defensive setup at all. But the fact is, we know more chance than not, the likelihood is it's more likely he will be playing Souček and he will be playing Paqueta on the left. Now, it's not saying but and for all the energy, for all the air we breathe saying it ain't going to change because we're not in the dugout. And that's the issue. I think people are like, oh, you should be doing it. Yeah, you probably should be, but he ain't gonna. And actually, rather than waste your breath talking about it, just cheer on the club. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's entitled to their opinions, totally. I said I don't think so. Russ, you look like Mike Tyson with the beard. Thanks, Mo. There's something. I'm definitely not Mike Tyson. Let's be honest. Russ, what's your prediction? I think we'll win. I think it'll be like a 2-0. It'd be nice to keep a clean sheet, but we don't. So I think we'll score a couple of goals. I think it'll be a bit like the Chelsea game. Do you know what I mean? What does everyone in the chat think? Let's get some score predictions in the chat. Old man Shaggy says we can't afford to play static ball today. We need vital games, vital points. We need to be a big win today. You're totally right. 2017 was the last time they won 8. Yeah, because we did the double on them the last time they were up, but that was COVID. That was behind closed doors. Russ, you're right about Moyes being defensive. What about second half? Why is always Ings? Don't know. Because he feels more comfortable bringing on a seasoned professional than Danny Ings than someone not so seasoned. But we know that, don't we? We know. I mean, it's no surprise to us. The fact is he's, with the exception of Alves, who has taken to the Premier League like a duck to water, really. JWP has been has been our best signing this season in terms of, just hitting the ground running. Last season with everyone, yes, Paqueta came good towards the end. Probably Emerson was probably our best signing, and still now as well. Because again, just so we know he's always risk averse. So he would, and he's done it before where he's, things he would always hark back. So, it was the Man United game last year in the Cup, wasn't it? The year before, where he brought on Mipa Debeko. and was shit. And they'll be like, right, I'm never doing that again, never putting a kid through that again. So it's like, well, I know Danny Ings is a seasoned professional, so Danny Ings comes on. Yes, you're probably right. Someone like Mbama, I think, is much suited towards the way we play, but it's going to be not a last resort. But he obviously rates him. That's why they haven't set him out on loan. I think, to be honest, in January, if he doesn't get game time, he goes out on loan to me for sure. JWP gets his first free kick. Top corner for us, and Caduce brace, hard fought 3-1. I'm a happy man, said old man Shaggy. Well, I think we'd all like that, to be honest, mate. We'd all love that. Morning, Michael. Hope you're well. Mate, got me a ticket. Looking forward to this one. Good on your son. 2-0 says Evan. Habantene comes back from Liverpool performance, and JWP continues his good form. Seen any Tevez masks this morning? No, there's no fuckery yet, to be honest, usual suspect. In theory, we could win 6 or 7. But as proved against Luton and Lincoln, we don't. We don't know what to do with possession. You're totally right, we don't. JWP hitting top bins from a corner. How's that for prediction? Sounds good. I hope we actually keep a clean sheet. We'll do Areola Power good and keep him playing. I'm going to walk and talk at the same time. Yeah, no, you're totally right, Trev. It'd be good. Obviously, we haven't had a clean sheet all season yet. And what's the name? And obviously, the game yesterday, the game on Wednesday, the Lincoln game, obviously Fabianski kept a clean sheet, albeit against the League One opposition. But regardless of that, it would be good. It would be good to get a clean sheet. It would be really good to get a clean sheet. But West Ham. I mean, we're all West Ham fans. We've all been West Ham fans for a long time, and we know that things like that don't tend to happen to us. Sometimes they do. Sometimes it just changes. And sometimes we get these random games where it just all goes our way. But at the moment, just can't see it happening, to be fair. It'd be nice. It'd be nice for JWP to get a free kick goal soon, because that will put him on par with Beckham's all-time number. And obviously there's going to be loads of stuff about Beckham coming up soon with the Netflix documentary. So it'd be good for JWP to get a bit of a thing. What we got? One simply does not walk into. I do. When you enter the gate, you have to fold it. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, there is. What we got here? It's always about the team. It could be about what would benefit Mbama, and the step up sometimes kills young pros. It does, and it's about having the best time. And Mbama is clearly one for the future, but there comes a point where you have to say, when do we start moving up? You know, when does he start move? When does he take over from Danny Ings in terms of getting the game time? I mean, you look how someone like Freddie Potts is doing at Freddie Potts is doing at Wickham. That's what I think Devine should be doing for sure. Right, someone's knocking on the door, someone's ringing the bell. Very good. Never underestimate your opposition, says Raymond. I totally agree. You know, as I said, wounded animal is the most deadly. And Sheffield United will want to come here and make a difference. They want to come here and have a go. I guarantee it. And that's why we need to come out of the traps really early. It won't happen, but we need to come out of the traps really early. And that's the frustrating thing. We know what we need to do, but whether we do it is another thing. But again, you know, this is Moyes' 900th game in charge of a professional side. This is 665th Premier League match in the dugout, which puts him third to Sir Alex and Arsene Wenger. So there we go. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll have the watch along. Ant's be doing the watch along later on. We'll have he might have Alf drop on. Alf might come on and have a word live from the stadium. We'll also have the predicted 11 as well, which will be out a couple of hours before kickoff, and then afterwards we'll have the aftermath, as I'm calling it now. And then, yeah, ratings and stuff, all that tough thing. How many wins has Taggart had in those West Ham games? Don't know. I haven't looked his, but isn't he? Has he got the highest win percentage of any West Ham manager in the last something years? I believe. Russ, what time do you get for an 8 p.m. kickoff? I'm at the seat at 4 o'clock, mate. There we go. Moisey won't underestimate. Yeah, that's true for him. In terms of Moisey, he doesn't underestimate oppositions. So that Lincoln City game, people are like, oh, why didn't he play all the Keats and things like that? He never underestimates the opposition. And he'll know, because he's experienced enough, to not underestimate Sheffield United. Particularly because their fans will be up for it because of Tevez Gate, and our fans will be up for it. So it'll be a really good atmosphere. So he will not underestimate it. So that's one thing you say about Moyes. Never takes it easily. Anyway, guys, I've got a dash. I'll go and check in and get ready. As I said, keep an eye on the channel. We've got Ant doing a watch along at probably half one, something like that. We'll also have the predicted 11 about 1 o'clock, 12:30, something like that. And then afterwards, we'll have a little wander around and all that type of stuff. Peanuts, when they do a final documentary of our club, they will never do a final documentary of the club. I think once the BBC did a pilot, and it never took off. And then Jack ended up doing the women's game. Don't forget to train strike. You're totally right, Trev. Train strike. Check your trains, check your travel plans before leaving to make sure you don't miss the kickoff. And as I said, don't do what Barry says. Smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to help and support the channel in a different way, become a channel member as well. And you get exclusive access, exclusive content, including the Sun's Jordan Davies' take on every press conference this season. And also, you get entered into all the draws. We'll have our next draw on Monday for October. A couple of prizes, signed West Ham football from the squad from last season, the Europa Conference League winning squad, and also the 92-93 poster signed by the likes of pretty much the whole 92-93 squad, there or thereabouts, or most of the starting 11, that's for sure. Okay, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Not a cloud in the sky, actually a little bit cloudy now, but nice and warm, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. Come on, you irons, irons.